A keyboard's not terribly complicated. It's fairly resistant to dust and that coming into the keyboard, but it does not like a cup of coffee spilled on it. When you take this apart, you'll find that there's a laminated sheet back here, and it's actually a lamination of 3 sheets. And you'll get moisture in between here. You take this apart and gently blot out any moisture in that. If it still has any moisture in there, you'll be able to see it. It'll look like saran wrap with water inside of it, or a baggie. And then you'll have all of these little cups. And of course they will fall out, every one of them almost. Take your keyboard, pick it up, put a piece of wood under it so that those keys are falling down and these cups will stay in place. And you just have to put each and every one of these back in here. They're all identical. You just need to make sure that there's one for each key. I was at a remote location quite a few years ago. We had a flood. All of our computers and keyboards were soaked in muddy water. So we washed them out with fresh water on the keyboard side, blew them out gently with compressed air, and then took them apart, dried them out, paper towels and that the best we could, set them out in the sun, let them dry out, put them back together, and as far as I can remember, every one of them worked. This was made somewhat easier by the fact that I drink black coffee. Had it had cream and sugar in it, or if it had been a soda that was dropped in there, you'd have another series of steps going along, individually washing all these silicone cups and making sure the inside of this plastic was not sticky. Carefully pick this up, lay it on top. Make sure these pins come through the plastic. This little rubber piece goes in here. It should sit flat. And the bottom part of the case pushes on this and makes sure that all these contacts are making contact with the circuit board. Look through here and make sure all of these are centered up on those silicone cups, and that where you're going to put a screw is lined up with these holes in the plastic. Make sure you put this on the right way around and start reinstalling the screws. It's a good idea to turn that backwards until you feel it click. And the threads on your screw are going into existing threads in the plastic, and you won't be stripping them out. On this one, there's 2 longer screws. I didn't really see where they came from, but I believe the only thing that's different on here is that strip that pushes down on the circuit board. So I'm going to put those 2 long screws in here. Don't over tighten these, just make them snug. When you're done, turn it over. See if all the keys seem to pop up. Don't lose any of these screws. They're in there for a reason. Maintain even contact with the Mylar strip in there and all the keys. Now you go plug it in and see if it works.